revolution will be on celluloid. I am the Wiz. Well, actually, this is probably shot digitally, so I guess that wouldn't make sense. Welcome everybody. Thank you again for coming. I'm here to review the 2021 biopic Judas and the Black Messiah, starring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield, directed by Shaka King. So I can get to why I chose this movie to watch and everything, and the honest truth is, I'm not sure why I chose it. I heard it was good. I thought that it would be an interesting thing to watch, but man, do I have to say, this was a great movie. So I am going to go right into the review. I think Shaka King did one thing in this film that only one filmmaker has done as well, and that is used dual storylines to add great depth to both storylines. There's probably more who have done this, but I think there's really only one that I think has done it better, and that is Francis Ford Coppola in Godfather Part II. This movie is about two people. This is about Fred Hampton at a certain period of time from when before he went to jail to the time that he was assassinated, and it has this really great performance by Daniel Kaluuya, who you will believe in this film that people will follow him, and that he is this charismatic and strong person that people will follow, and people will try and do the best that they can for this person, who the people also believe is fighting for them. Like, there are things in this film where if I think of a lesser actor was playing this character, it'll be a little bit hard to believe the power that Fred Hampton had at this time when it came to speaking and everything. But Kaluuya does a great job in this film. He not only does a great job using the sophisticated language and making that believable when he's talking as Fred Hampton, but also that project that strength, that kind of feeling that he's like a person you don't want to mess with, even though I don't think he would mess with you. That performance and the way that storyline worked, I think rested a lot on Kaluuya, and he did a fantastic job at this. The other storyline involves William O'Neill, who is played by Lakeith Stanfield, and this one is also a very good performance, but in a much different reason. William O'Neill is someone who's trying to steal cars in a very stupid way. He decides to fake being an FBI agent in order to steal cars. Well, he gets arrested, and in order to not get any jail time, he cops a plea with the FBI to be an informant on the Black Panther Party, which is, if you know your history, it's where Fred Hampton is the chairman of the Illinois branch. And this plot line is really good because it's a crime story, but it's also a story of paranoia. It's also of dual loyalties. This part of the plot line is done very well because of Lakeith Stanfield and how he portrays O'Neill as a person who is trying to decide whether he wants to save himself or save the Panthers. And the drama with this character is where his loyalties lie. And the film does an incredible job showing that while showing what he is going through with Fred Hampton. And what makes me want to compare this to The Godfather Part II is that Godfather Part II took both storylines, weaved them in really well together, and to a point where neither storyline seemed weaker than the other. It just fit really well to make one cohesive narrative. And Judas and the Black Messiah does the exact same thing. It does a very good job of taking all these elements of this film, both narratives, both performances, and on top of that, the music. The music's really good in this movie. And just taking both of these things and creating one really cohesively done narrative, and it's just done incredibly well. Honestly, by the end, I was trying to figure out what are my issues with this film? What are the things that I think they could change, or just things that maybe was lesser than, and I can't come up with any. On top of other performances, I want to highlight one performance that's Martin Sheen as J. Edgar Hoover. It's a very small role, but I think this is the best I've seen someone play J. Edgar Hoover as someone who is intimidating and creepy in a way and just looks really disturbing. When you see Martin Sheen as J. Edgar Hoover, it's not pleasant, so I'll give it that. But in conclusion, this was a great film. I am very surprised how well the dual narrative works in this movie, and how going back and forth from Fred Hampton to William O'Neill doesn't really hurt either storyline. In fact, I think it helps enhance it, and I think that's really the mark of not only some great writing by the writers of this film, but excellent direction by Shaka King, who is able to keep both storylines in check throughout the entire film and keep it in one whole cohesive narrative. I really can't say anything wrong about this film. Great movie. movie. All right, so before I get into my rating, let's get into what other people think of this film. Letterboxd users has this at a 4 out of 5. That's a great rating. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 96% fresh. That's not a surprise. As for Oscars, it won 2, and one of them was for Best Supporting Actor for Daniel Kaluuya. I'm a little surprised that he got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, considering someone like Anthony Hopkins won Best Actor for Silence of the Lambs in a movie he was in there for like 20 minutes. But then again, I don't think there really was a lead in this film, so I guess that kind of makes sense. I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5. I am actually quite surprised how much I enjoyed this film. It's funny, after I watched American Fiction, I was really sure there wasn't going to be anything that will match American Fiction. I am not entirely sure that this matches American Fiction. That's how much I love the film, but this comes really close. I think the performances are really good in this film. I think Daniel Kaluuya is actually the best performance in this film. Lakeith Stanfield is very good, and there's a really creepy Martin Sheen in this film that I really liked. But I think the dual narrative between Fred Hampton and William O'Neill, I think, is one of the biggest highlights of the film. And just how it does both storylines really well without detracting from either storyline. And that's really hard to do. I was really impressed by how well this film did with the dual storylines. So it's available to rent on Amazon, YouTube. So if you have not, check it out there. All right, thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. If you didn't, please subscribe. And if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave a comment whether you liked it or not. It just helps, you know. If you want my written reviews, you can go onto my Letterboxd at IamThatWiz, or you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. Thank you very much again for watching. See you next time.